What's up, guys? Welcome to the live stream, and I want to thank all of you guys for your support. It's gonna be nice in here today without the trolls. If we do have any trolls sneak in, we will just get rid of them. But anyways, glad to see you guys all in here. Obviously, we know what I wanted to let you guys know. I bought some property yesterday, so I'm gonna try to make this stream long enough, at least maybe an hour or so, but I may have to cut it short if I get the call that I'm waiting on. So just to let you guys know before we start. So anyways, are we going to get up and test this top trend line? And let's look at a few things here. But first, I want to move this over. So let's move this over. Obviously, the price goes up as it moves over. So if we go to test this trend line, so around the 51.8, 52, depending on how long it would take to get there. But we could be seeing that 52 or whatever, a break of this line, and then we will have to reevaluate. Obviously, it would, make we could be going up to mega double top. But as you guys know, I do believe we are bearish here. And let's take a look at the RSI that we talked about in the video. Remember, we were watching this falling channel, and this trend line right here, we put this in as a measured move. I told you guys you could take measured moves off of the RSI, just like, let me blow this up. You could take measured moves off the RSI just like you could take off of, price action. So looking at this falling channel, and I'll get into the chat and we'll chit chat here in a minute. But as you can see right here, it's actually down a little bit. We could put it down to there. We've actually tested that perfectly. Now, that does not mean we're done and topped out here, although we could be. As you guys know, I'm not taking a trade until we either touch this, I will go short. If we touch the top trend line, and if we break the bottom trend line, then I will go short down here. In here, I'm not worried about it. I know a lot of people like to trade more often, and we had this from the video the other day at 46.2. I said if that broke and you were feeling froggy, that would be a good place to long with your stops just below. And our target was 49.74. If you took that trade, kudos, awesome. And it's not anything to do with me. I always say that. So I'm going to put this out there real quick. Most of you know, if you belong to the channel, that if you've watched the bulls up at 60 to 64,000 and you believed that, that 100K was the next stop, 75K everybody was screaming about, and you bought or you longed, it's still not their fault unless they told you to long, and even then you should never rely on any YouTuber, including myself. You always need to do your own due diligence, and that's what my channel is about. I do put out my opinion and tell you what I'm seeing in the markets, but I also try to tell you how and why I'm seeing that. So hopefully you'll be able to look at the market yourself and kind of read, and not just don't trade off of other people's opinions, including myself. I try to explain that all the time. But anyways, so if we look at the daily here, we're making bearish divergence, right? So we go back over to here, and we could definitely pop up and retest this. Let's zoom in again. So we can definitely pop up and retest this because that could get us a little bit higher, but that's why we're so iffy in this area. Like I said, if this turns around here, which is quite possible, I'm still not real confident in a short, unless I may, and I'll let you guys know if I do, but I probably won't be watching much today. But this 8 EMA here on the 4 hour is lying around the 48,466. If we open and close a 4 hour candle below that, that's most likely we're at least coming back down to this line. And if this line breaks, we've talked about this before, depending on if, when, and where it breaks, but we would take a measured move of this wedge to go down to maybe $37,000 range. But if we break this trend line, the white one, and get resistance on it, we're going to go much further down, in my opinion. But anyways, nothing's really changed. Everything is playing out just like we had thought. If you guys been watching since way back when all this was happening, I had talked about this being a bull trap way back here before this even played out, any of this even played out. Talked about this being a huge bull trap for B. Another thing I'm going to explain, a lot of people just don't seem to understand. Let me see. I think I have it on one of the videos here, right here. So I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible so you guys understand this at least. I've went over it 1,000 times and people still just don't get it. So people are saying, you said that if we went past 47.1 that this was invalid, and that is not what I said. You can read it right here. And this video was from back in June. Invalidation for wave 4, which was right here. The invalidation was if we passed that 41.7 before breaking this low of the 30,500, which was the low of wave 3 here. It actually was a little bit lower, around 30,200 or whatever. But if we broke 47.1 before that, that would have invalidated this 5-wave count, which I believe to be A. We did break that. So, and then we can go B. But as you can see, I had the B drawn in here, which goes past 47.1. People just don't listen, guys. Please try to learn. I know not everybody understands charting and whatever, but that's, again, that's why I make this channel. If you listen carefully, it'll make a whole lot more sense to you, and you won't get caught up in the trolley, mad, crybaby crap. And we talked about this yesterday too. Every time a Bitcoin tops, you usually form some sort of a triangle. Maybe what we're doing here, we talked about this yesterday. If it was to do something like this, what would the measured move be? Well, it would be from the top of the triangle to the bottom. And we could possibly see, whoa, we're on the log chart. Let me take that off log. We put this down here. So yeah, we could, that would be extremely ugly. Do I think that'll happen? Most likely not, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. What we'll probably do if that something like that happens, it'll be a prolonged bear market, just like it was over here in 2017 right here. So again, same thing, nothing really. Hey, thanks, Kat. And thanks all you guys for the congrats on the property. I was pretty stoked about it. I put in an offer. They came back at me with a counter offer, and I just went with it. I was pretty excited about it. My wife loves the property. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. It's in a great area that we wanted to be in, and it's pretty large property. So Uncle Savvy, so now there is only the ABC wave left since all the other waves are invalidated, right? All what other waves are invalidated? That's what I don't understand. What do you mean other waves are invalidated? Nothing was invalidated. Wait, we had our 5 waves down. This low broke wave 3. That's all we needed. Now we have this. It's either a 3-way move or this B is just a triangle with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is definitely a possibility. Either way, I think this is B. It's a bull trap. This area right here, in between the 0.65 fib and the point. Well, let me go over, for those of you that don't know how to put the fibs on here, we'll do it real quick, and I'll zoom in so you guys can understand the fibs. So on a fib, looking for a retracement, which is what I'm doing now. And as you guys know, if we cross this green line, then I become bullish. But until then, I'm bullish or bearish all under this line. But let's put these fibs on here. I'm going to move these out of the way just a little bit, out of the top and bottom. Get these out of the way so you can see. So you grab your fibs and you go from the top, and this is the Fibonacci retracement tool, not the extension. So you go to the top of this wave right here, click it, and go to this bottom wave right there, and that's what gets us this golden pocket zone. That is the 0.618 and 0.65. That's a great retracement zone. That doesn't mean it can't come up to all the way up to the 57.1 area, which is the 0.786. we break above that, like I said, that would be, then I would start to look bullish, especially if we came back down and tested the green line before going back up. So unless we do that, I remain bearish, and I think that's most likely we get our rejection in this area. Okay, so even if we went up higher, no matter what, we're going to get some kind of rejection here. It's a good short opportunity if we do even get that high. They can front run this and continue down. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So now we know where our Fibonacci retracement golden pocket area is. Now this is, let me get this off of here. So this is how you measure for this. Let me move that other stuff over there back where it was so I don't forget to do that. So if we go over to here and we want to measure this as wave A and then B, we take the Fibonacci extension tool right up here, and you start at the top of wave 1 right there. So we put our line across there. Then we go down to the bottom of wave 5, which was right here. I may have to move that around a little bit to get it even. And then we go back up to, like I said, if we hit that 52,000, 51 to 52,000, then let me move this A out of the way so I can make sure I got this lined up right. Okay, so your first click would be up here. Second click would be down at the end of the wave. And your third click would be, so let's say we topped out here. Again, there's nothing saying we have yet. But if we've topped out here, then we would put our third click of the Fibonacci extension on here. And then we would look for a 1-to-1 extension, which is right here. The 1-to-1 extension, if we've topped out there, would be right about 13,699. Now, if we do continue up to that 51 to 52,000, that raises the 1-to-1 extension. And this will most likely not be an exact target, guys. That would be about 15.5, because usually, especially if this was to happen, people are going to fear you'll probably get a lower wick, and I still believe the 10K or less is still possible. But again, it doesn't matter what price it gets to, it matters how it gets there. Once we start forming our next set of waves, we can take measured moves and Fibonacci's and figure out where the next will be. If you watched my video back, let's see, I think this one here,
Bitcoin.
Where is it at? Where I put the Elliott wave count in here. Yeah, see, here's where I would have been bullish, because this would have been an ABC. This is where I quit looking at the bullish possibility at this point. In a week or so, we could be going up for one more fifth wave. If 41,611 wouldn't have held, that could have been the C wave, 1-to-1 extension.
Let's take a look at.
But then I put this in.
So looking at the bearish case,
looking at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This could be a 1, 2, 3 coming down
to 30,500.
Wave 3,
which is where it got
30,500.
Back up to 47 or 41,729, and then back down. But again, I was wrong on the fifth wave. The fifth wave only has to break this here. But I hope that makes sense to you guys. Anyways, so that's how you get the measured, or not the measured moves, but how you use the Fibonacci's on these. Once you get a clear wave count, you can start doing this. So I have a question. Your probable target for the bear market is 9K. What do you think about the fact that the bear market, the price never dropped below last bull market all-time high? This would be 19K. I know a lot of people are looking at it that way, and it all depends on how you look at what's going on in the market and how the price is moving. Again, if we do get this lower target, like I said, what we're going to be looking for, if it happens, as long as we don't break this green trend line up here, is we're going to look for 5 waves down, which may be something like this. We don't know how deep that first wave would go, but it would be something like this, and then we would get a 3rd wave down, which the 3rd wave is often the longest but never the shortest, and then maybe a 5th wave up, and then a 4th wave down. Something like that is what we could possibly see. So again, we'll be watching this, and I'll try to take more time answering questions and stuff in the members chat here. It's just a lot easier for everybody, I believe. So you think we just saw accumulation? No, I think this is redistribution. And I've said that for a very long time. Let me show you something here. That this is pretty much doing the same thing we did up here. This could definitely be redistribution. As you guys know, we had our trend lines across the top here. Let's put this over here. We're going to clone this one. Put it down. Let me go back over. As you can see in this chart, we had this drawn in back on May 24th, which played out beautifully. And the same type thing is going on right now. Let me show you in the chart. So this was here. And if we put our trend lines up here, we just pretty much did the exact same thing. We're like right here now. Let me get this, move this down, clone it. So something sort of like this, I guess. We could go all the way down here. But either way, this still is looking like redistribution. Like we're going to do the same type thing and just roll over and come back down. That is my opinion. I do believe that's what's going on. Again, we will keep a close eye on it. I'll let you guys know if anything changes for me. Is it possible that accumulation happened between May and August? It's possible. I don't believe that's what's happening. I think it's redistribution. Do you think this is like 2018 or 2020? I think is like 2020 and it will go down without a strong bounce. It's possible. I do believe we'll get bounces along the way though. We'll have to see how that happens, but if we put this support line down here, like I said, we'd be looking for 5 waves down if I'm correct on the count. So we got our 5 here, ABC up here, and then our 5 count would look something like this. You know, the first 1 wave might be all the way down here, and then we get a 2 wave up, everybody gets bullish again, and then we get our 3 wave down, and then our 5th wave. I mean, it's possible. We'll have to, like I said, we got to watch how it plays out. All right. Do you think this is like 2018? Okay, so let's take a look at this. I had this drawn in there. I know a lot of people are saying we have not had our blow off top yet. If you've been watching the channel, I showed you guys my thoughts on that. So here was our blow off top. Everybody looks at the daily, right? Here was our blow off top. There was a lot less money in the market. Obviously the market wasn't nearly as high back here, and we could see this blow off top on the daily. And if we look back here, 2019, we could see this blow off top on the daily. Again, a whole lot less money in the market. And let's take a look at this on the daily. So this one here, they're saying it wasn't a blow off top because you look at it like this and it doesn't look as much like a blow off top. But again, the market is much bigger, much more money in it. So let's move it up to the weekly time frame. Well, there you go. There is your blow off top. That's your blow off top. You could look at it in the monthly. The monthly is pretty damn ugly. And there's your blow off top. I do believe we've had the blow off top. Again, not saying, like I always say, guys, nobody knows 100% for sure what the market's going to do. We can look at the market, analyze it, and get our best educated decisions. But nobody knows, absolutely nobody. And if they're telling you they know for a fact, that's crazy. Like the bull's calling for 100,000. And I'm not saying that can't happen, but I'm saying there's validation points and invalidation points that you got to watch, especially if you're trading. If you're a hodler, good luck. I hate to hodl right now because just like I'd hate to see people hodl up here. It can turn around very quickly. That's why I like to trade. I like to make money. Shahin said, let's get that like button to 500. I don't think we'll get it because just members can see this, so, or can actually watch the video. So any opinion on how the stock markets look? Could be 10 to 15% correction, bring BTC below 28K. Yeah, as you guys know, in the long term on the Dow, I am definitely bearish on the Dow. It's showing just tons of bearish divergence all the way up to the weekly chart. Just tons and tons of bearish divergence. It's ugly, and I think it's ready to crash. And I know a lot of people think it's just going to continue up. And I tweeted about it today. Savvy 40,600 January swing high confluence. First, I wanted to talk about this real quick. That, like I said, I bought the property yesterday. I paid cash, and I was talking to a builder and the seller, some other people, and they said that the same thing I'm thinking. They're not into markets like watching them daily, but they were older gentlemen that been around for a while, building and buying and selling land, investing like that, not actual market investing. So they both said it without even talking about the markets, that they said you probably wait to build your house till the markets come down, which it will. Also, he said that it's kind of funny because people have enough money in the market they could pull cash and pay cash for the land and the houses and stuff they're buying, but they'd rather just take loans because it's cheap money, and they don't want to pull their money out of the markets because the market just keeps going up. And they said that's a sign that it's about to end. And that just goes along with everything I've been talking about. Like I said, these are older gentlemen that been through a lot of stuff, and they see it from their angle, which is totally different than looking at the markets like we do. I want to trade more often. It's been so long waiting for a short around 51K. Yeah, I mean, if you want to short or trade the smaller time frames, that's on you. The markets move the same in all of them. But the DXY is right at our support, and it is making hidden bullish divergence in an uptrend. Looks like we're going to get that next leg up, and that'll probably bring Bitcoin down. We'll see what happens if the dollar is able to break this 94, get above here and get support. It is probably a sign that the markets are coming down pretty harshly at that point, but we have to wait and see. Janet said, Savvy, do you enter a wrong trade? Are you in a long while the market drops? How do you handle such a situation? Always, like, okay, say I get, it gets up to this 51.2, right? You got to be okay with taking some losses. If you think you're going to win every trade, you're going to be very disappointed because you're not. That's not how it works. Risk management, you risk a little. So let's see if let's say we got up to here, right? I would put my short in, and I'll show you guys this. I would put my short in at, let's say we hit right here at 51.7. We hit here. I would put my short in, and I would probably put my stops about 51.9 or 52,000 at very low leverage. And if we did get a big rejection, I would probably move my stops down to break even. That way, if it goes back up, I'm not at a loss. And then I would probably enter a little more short, keep my stops up there. So then I would be risking a little bit of money again. And then you ride the winners. If it kept going down, I would just ride it out, keep moving my stops down every time so say this is obviously resistance right now, and we come back down, we know that would be, this is resistance right now. So if we came down and broke that, then that, obviously we would get under it. And if we got rejected there again, I would move my stops down to here. And just ride it out. Like I said, once we get down to the certain levels down in here, I would have my stops in, very large profit. And if we broke this bottom trend line, I would move it down again, wait for a test of this trend line, and then if it got rejected and came back down, I would move my stops to where it got rejected when it come back up to this trend line, and I would stay there. And then depending on how the wave count looks, or how the if it's forming anything like a triangle or a bear flag or a bull flag at that point, then I would decide what to do next. But that's the way I like to trade. I like to keep moving my stops into profit. Never move your stops away. So if it starts coming back up and you move your stops up just a little bit, think, okay, it's going to turn around, and then you move it up just a little bit, you're going to move it right into liquidation. If you do that, you got to stick with the trades. So if I was to get stopped out here, if it hit up to this 51.8, 51.7, I got a short in, it come down, came back up, stopped me out, I would just wait for the next trade. You don't revenge trade. That will get you slaughtered. And for those of you that know, I like Prime XBT, but it is my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. They are a book exchange, not a B book exchange. They don't just liquidate your whole account when you lose a trade. If you use stops, you can avoid that anyway, obviously. But just all the other exchanges are pretty shady, in my opinion. I've never had a problem with Prime. And the promo codes, like I use my own promo code, Savvy50. So every time I put make a deposit into my trading account, say I put 1 Bitcoin, then I get 2 Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, a half a Bitcoin extra to use towards my margin. And Savvy25 gets you 25% off your fees. And I know a lot of people get confused on how to use the margin on Prime. If you go to my page, my YouTube page, and go to the home, go down here, there's a Prime XBT video there that teaches you the simple calculations for your margin. It's so simple. Definitely check it out. I do suggest if you are trading Bitcoin on an exchange, this is my favorite exchange. A lot of people do like BYBIT. I'm not a huge fan of it. I do have small amounts on there, but there's also some tutorials here. I think 4 of them, real short tutorials. I made them all in one night before I went on vacation one night, but the information is still good. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. You said you were going to enter massive shorts. What does massive means? I'm going to go in pretty heavy on low leverage, and then I will pretty heavy. Heavy's different to everybody, but let's just say pretty heavy. Thanks, Chief. Much appreciated. Thanks, Google user. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate the super chat, man. On Prime XBT, do you use the copy feature for your own trades to multiply? No, I don't use the copy feature on there. Are you talking about copy trading? I do not. That wouldn't make sense to me, because I would just enter that much in the original trade rather than follow myself. Why are people so convinced of 100K with so little volume? Could it be that there is money on the sidelines waiting for clearer entry? I mean, you could look at it a million different ways, but it feels an awful lot like when Bitcoin was at 20K, and I'll talk about it over here. When Bitcoin was at 20K, you know what? I'm going to go into the other chart. So when Bitcoin was at 20K, guys, and this is how markets work, and a lot of people just don't get it. But when we were at 20K, if any of you were around, then you'll remember when we had this drop, everybody got super bearish real quick. And then it came back up. We got this bounce, and right here, everybody was screaming 50,000, 70,000, 100,000. It was all over the news, everything on this bull trap. That's how they get retail money to get in, so they can sell higher, and then they do it again. Every little pump, this one, everybody got bullish. Everybody got bullish. It just kept getting lower and lower, and every time everyone got bullish. And then everyone was saying this was the bottom at 6,000. And what happened then? It broke. So you got to be careful. The markets are a mental game just as well as, analyzing it. It's if you're playing with your emotion, you will get wrecked. 100%. You cannot use emotion. Savvy, my question is, when we place an order on the top, do we keep that position all the way to the bottom without taking profit in between? No, always take some profits, man. You know, if depending on how your trade goes, so say, you know, 50%, take half of what you started with. And it all depends on how big your trade is, how long your time frame you're trading is. So I like to trade swing trade, which I could be in a trade for a couple days, sometimes weeks I could be in a trade. And then there's days and weeks I don't even trade because I don't have a clear trade. Patience is huge. Thanks, Savvy. Doesn't like my question for some reason. Al, where is your question, bud? I can't read them all. Fourth attempt, question. Why are you not using log fib? Log fib would have hit 618 and log fib extend. I don't use the log charts. If you use the log charts in macro, but I do not use log charts on, you know, daily time frames. Not a fan of the log charts. If you guys have paid attention to my videos, my wave counts hit almost exact, not using log charts. I don't use the log charts. So that's my answer to your question. And a lot of people think I'm rude when someone disagrees with me. I'm all for disagreeing because, like I said, anything can happen in the market. It's when people are rude and obnoxious and just annoyingly trolly with the way they speak. That's when I just block people now. I just don't even deal with it because it's just ridiculous. It's a waste of energy on them people. I like the troll-free videos. Me too, Janet. You're welcome, Al. Savvy, what are the ramifications of using Prime XBT? I am not an attorney, bud. You are rude. I can be an ass. I'll be the first one to admit it. Hey, Savvy, do you have a rough timeline on this stock crash? No, I don't, but I think if it hasn't begun, it begins this year. Pretty damn confident of that. And it could be years, you know, or we could see a swift one like back here in March 2020. You know, it could be a swift one. If it's like that, then Bitcoin's bear market might be pretty short. Otherwise, we could be in a huge macro. So this is on the weekly. So, you know, they talk about bubbles. Let's put this on the monthly and look at the stock market. If you think that's healthy without a correction, that's insane. And this actually looks like a huge macro 100-year trend. And I'll show you. People don't think this can happen, but I do think it's possible. Especially if you look around in the world today. I don't know what's going on with my... Let me turn that sound off. All right. So anyways, could this be a huge... Again, not saying it's for sure, but that would bring the stock markets down to, a small correction would be back down to the 6,000. I mean, we could definitely see that. I mean, that would be a Great Depression style deal, which I don't think is impossible. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I definitely don't think it's impossible. But I think we will most likely see these lows again at some point within the next couple of years. I love it. I sat and watched all my hodlings tank, but I did hold. Won't see me doing this time in 2017 and 18. Yeah, a lot of people did, man. So does Savvy think we're going to go below 15K around January 22? Like I said, we will watch this wave count if I'm correct here on this C wave, we'll be able to see much clearer, just like we were able to get this count way up here when everybody was still saying we were going to break back above the 64. And we got this count just like this. 1, 2, 3. And I had said the 3 wave would get down to that 30, or yeah. Let me clean this up. We'll go back to this chart. Yeah, that's exactly how I got it. I just used the Fibonacci retracement levels. Or I'm sorry, the trend-based fib extension from the top of wave 1 to the bottom of wave 2 to the top, or I'm sorry, top of wave 1, bottom of wave 1, top of wave 2, and that gives you the 1-to-1 extension, which was right here at the 30,524. That's how I got my wave 3 count. We hit it almost exactly. And then you do the same thing from the top of wave 2 to the bottom of wave 3 to the top of wave 4 to get your 5 wave. Let's do that. And again, I thought the 5 wave was going to go much lower, but let's go from from the 2 to the bottom of 3 to the top of 4. What the hell happened? Top of 2 to the bottom of 3 to the top of 4. And if you look, yeah, we just broke, where's it at? We just broke 3 right here. We came down to actually the 1-to-1 extension on that one, but yeah. So once we broke that, if you guys remember, I was saying that could have been the bottom of 5 right here, which it was. I didn't think so. I thought we'd go a little bit further, but either way, we ended wave A with 5 waves, just like we were expecting. Savvy, personally, I don't believe in super cycles. What's your view on super cycle theories? It's just another theory that, you know, just Elliott wave is a theory. Wyckoff method is a theory. It depends on how you look at the markets. Savvy, let's say after 15K, which one is more likely we recover fast or long term? If we get down 15K or less, it's going to be a long, drawn out bear market, a long accumulation period, just like here. You can see after the bear markets, we have long accumulation periods, and we had another one here. This is when big money was getting in. Wrote it up here. They started selling a little here. Sold here, sold here, sold here. That is distribution. And I do believe they are selling here. And they're trying to, you know, like, I talked to BitBoy in some tweets, and I said, how can you be so sure that your people know where the markets are going? Because nobody knows where the market's going. Literally nobody knows. So, and he said, I trust my sources, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, smart money would look at someone like you with a lot of followers and figure, we can get a lot of people to buy in if we tell this dude that it's going to 100,000. And then he tells his followers, they buy in while we can sell into it. Just makes sense, guys. Chris P. Bacon. Hey, Savvy, do you think the Tether and FTX could artificially pump it past 51K? I mean, why would they stop at 51K if they can push it higher and make more money? They play by the same rules on, you know, they're looking at the same stuff everybody else is. So they know what they're doing. Big money does. And it's not like they control the market and make even Tether, they can't make it go exactly where they want. They can play these charts and make pumps or whatever, but it's all part of the charts. Like I said, everything's in the charts. News doesn't matter, nothing matters. Right here, if you guys remember the Elon tweet, they blame this on an Elon tweet. They blame this on an Elon tweet. When we had already pegged those drops out before he even tweeted. Yeah, that's Lewis. Now that's a good theory, right? Yeah, and they could pump, you know, Tether. They could print enough Tether, but guys, I am leery of Tether. They could be the next Mount Gox that makes this a worse bear market. So I do not trust Tether one bit. What price range were you expecting for the top of this bull run in 2020? Right here. Let me show you. And this video was from March. Oh, hold on a minute. Let me turn this sound on so you can hear it. So this was from March 24th. I had all this drawn in. This video right here is from March 24th. Go ahead and check it out.
Action. And then we came back down lower. Well, first we got up to the ST, which is right here, and that's the secondary test. Then we came down to the sign of weakness here, where everybody bought it back up, and then we got up to our UT, which is the up thrust. And then you can see the trend line on the up thrust here. We dropped back below this trend line where the buying climax was. This is what it would look like if it plays out and we go to that 63 or 64,000 to the up thrust after.
This was from March 24th, 63 to 64,000 is what I called it. I drew this in and it played out pretty much exactly. So just saying, you know, that's what happens. I hope you guys could hear that. I'm not sure if it was actually on there, but maybe on a members video soon discuss how to interpret volume relative to price. I'm struggling getting a grasp on that. Right on. I'll do that at some point. If you look right here, just look at the volume. Constantly getting lower and lower while the price is going up. That's not a good sign. Same thing here. Volume was declining while price was going up. If we go into, let me go over here into the daily. I think it's a little bit more clear. So let's see where we at here. This is the 4 hour. Let's go into the daily. All right, so let's look at the volume here. So spread it out, take a good look. So as you can see, this whole rise up, the volume was declining, and then we had our big drop. So volume declining, price going up, not a good sign, right? So let's look over here where we're at now. Price going up, volume declining rapidly. Can you see that? That's a sure sign that we're most likely going to turn around at some point pretty quick here. Gart has lit. I'm thankful for BitBoy, as that is where I was introduced to you. I wish I had found you in March. Could have saved lots of money. Better late than never. Thanks for everything. Thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat too, man. Non-members can watch, but they can't chat. No, I don't even think non-members can watch. I got this members only. They can see the video posted, but they can't watch, I don't think. Can you look more at Ethereum? Yeah, I will. I will be doing another live for you guys tomorrow. Obviously for members only tomorrow too, but I am going to get out of here. Like I said, I've been waiting on a call and I did just get the text. So I apologize for cutting this short, guys, but I will see you tomorrow. Basically, nothing's changed. I know a lot of people hate when I say that, but literally, basically nothing's changed. So we can still get up to this golden pocket zone. Let's go over to our chart here, and this is what I'm looking at. I'm still, like I said, I'm still pretty I'm gonna stay pretty strict on. I won't short till we get up here, or most likely start opening and closing 4 hours below 48.4. Then I may, or actually 48.3, then I may be entering some shorts there. So great suggestion. This weekend vid could turn out educational. Heavy too. I like that. Hope you get your house. Good luck. Getting the property. I got to still build the house. Thanks, Savvy. Appreciate the video. Thank you, guys. Proud gun owner 26 watching and chatting. Right on. Savvy, when you say low leverage, what do you mean by that? When I go in low leverage, I'm usually between like 2 to 6 or 7x, and then sometimes I'll add on to that and go higher leverage, depending on how the count's going, how the trade's going. Your work is incredible. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the members live only. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for becoming members. Like I said, sorry I had to cut this a little short, but I do appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. It will be members only again tomorrow. Hopefully we can get more in depth, and I can take a look at Ethereum and Litecoin, some other stuff if you want to. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys rock, man.